And Muslera, cleared on the line. Suarez is sent off. Well, you couldn't have a more dramatic finish. Asamoah Gyan has the opportunity to send Ghana into the semi-finals of the World Cup. And he hits the bar, and it's good enough to take the South Americans into the semi-finals of the World Cup.
After 12 years of waiting, on the 2nd of December 2022, can the Black Stars of Ghana finally take their revenge on Uruguay?
I did my waiting! 12 years of it!
Now yes, I know I've already used that video clip in another video I released earlier on this week, but I feel like it is just so appropriate and perfect for the situation we're currently in. But of course, before we get into that, right everyone, it is Finn here, and if you guys have no idea what on earth I'm going on about, on the final day of the group stage at the 2022 World Cup, Ghana take on Uruguay, and after 12 years of waiting to take their revenge, can they do it? I would argue that this is one of, if not the biggest game of the group stage. And now I know there are probably one or two fans out there asking, Finn, what do you mean by taking their revenge? Well, I mean, if for some however reason you have no idea what I'm talking about, it all dates back 12 years ago to the 2010 World Cup. A World Cup that was hosted in my home nation of South Africa. I probably don't have to try doing accents as I am from South Africa. But looking at Ghana in the 2010 World Cup, they were absolutely brilliant. Starting off their campaign with a 1-0 win over Serbia, which I mean, considering at the time Ivanovic and Vidic were the two main centre-back partnerships for Serbia, that's not too bad going. It was by an 84th minute winning penalty by Black Stars legend Asamoah Gyan, who is the top goal scorer of all time from the nation. Once again, really solidifying that he is not there to play games.
This is business!
In the second game of the competition, it was a 1-1 draw versus Australia, which once again netted an Asamoah Gyan penalty. It all went down to the third game of the group stage, where unfortunately Ghana weren't able to do it again, as they lost 1-0 to a Mesut Ozil penalty, ET himself. But luckily for Ghana, they did not require a win, as they already booked themselves in the round of 16 for the competition. In the next round, they ended up facing USA, and with goals from Kevin Prince Boateng and once again Asamoah Gyan, they booked themselves a spot in the quarterfinals of the World Cup, which to date, not just by Ghana but by Africa, is the furthest an African nation has ever made it in the World Cup. And they were cheated out.
No way!
Because in 2010, looking at them, it all went down to 1-1. It was the 120th minute and the ball was saved off the line by none other than Luis Suarez. Now I know what you're saying, Finn, he's not a goalkeeper, how could he save it off the line? Well, of course, as we know, one of the most controversial moments in football, as Luis Suarez got himself a red card by handballing it off of the line. Unfortunately, Asamoah Gyan, the absolute legend for Ghana, he just had to make one more penalty to get Ghana through to the next stage. 120th minute, it all goes down to this, but unfortunately he misses the penalty. It went down to a penalty shootout, and as we know, Luis Suarez's Uruguay team made it through to the next round. That started to boil a real hatred for Ghana over this Uruguay team, to know that they didn't qualify for the semi-final due to a handball off of the line, due to being cheated out of it. Once again, as we know, it's one of the most hated moments of all time. I mean, Luis Suarez probably is one of the most hated footballers of all time. I mean, at the end of the day, this man bit 3 different people. But as I said, 12 years later, Ghana don't just face Uruguay once again. They face Luis Suarez, which, can you imagine it going to the 120th minute? Or, I mean, it's not a knockout stage, but can you imagine it going to the last minute this time around and Luis Suarez doing it all again?
No!
I think the internet would explode. But obviously, we have to look at this Ghanaian national team. Can they finally take the revenge on Uruguay? I know a lot of people on my channel over the last few months have said that they're pretty sure I am Ghanaian and not South African due to the amount of content I've made for them. But ladies and gentlemen, this Ghanaian national team truly had something special in them. I mean, looking at them, they gave Portugal a fair run for their money. In their game versus South Korea, they were absolutely magnificent. And with the way that they've been playing, I think they could beat Uruguay. I think heading into this World Cup, I actually thought Uruguay would be serious dark horses. I mean, who can blame me? With Valverde in the midfield, with Cavani, Nunes, Suarez up front, with the Rojo in the back, with Muslera in the back in the goalkeeper position still, this Uruguay national team is filled with some absolute superstars. But obviously, heading into the round 3 of the group stage without a single win yet, this is Ghana's time to shine. As I said, it all goes down to this, and whether they can finally get their revenge after waiting 12 years, it would be absolutely magnificent. As I said, I wouldn't be surprised if every single Ghanaian fan out there ended up going to bite Luis Suarez or something weird like that.
What did he say?
I mean, I don't know about Luis Suarez. I mean, as much of a great strike he is, I mean, you can't say that. I mean, no matter what you think of him as a person, he is an absolutely world-class striker. But I don't know if I'd feel safe if I was him playing against Ghanaian fans. As we know, one of the most hated players by a nation in World Cup history. But looking at this Ghanaian national team, I think heading into this game, they might actually be the favourites for this. As we know, Mohamed Kudus been absolutely brilliant this tournament. Salisu really solidifying that goal, that centre-back position. Ziggy as a goalkeeper, although heading into this tournament as a third-choice goalkeeping option, he's been first class. Looking at the attack, Inoki Williams, although not scoring goals, really creating the opportunities. This Ghanaian national team, the Black Stars of Ghana team, could do Africa so proud, and all they have to do is get points versus Uruguay, and they're through to the next stage, which is mental to think about. Well, obviously assuming that Portugal don't end up failing hardcore versus South Korea. But the Black Stars of Ghana, this is your opportunity to redeem yourself. Could you get through to the round of 16? Could you get through to the quarterfinals once more? Once again, we're going to have to wait and see. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is essentially it for today's video. I know it is a very, very short, very abrupt video, but I just wanted to share the importance of a fixture like this. Ghana versus Uruguay, what it means to the Ghanaian football fans, what it means for African fans as a whole. As I said, no African team has ever made it as far as Ghana did in the 2010 World Cup, and it's just so tragic that they were cheated out of it. Guys, I hope that you did enjoy the video. If you did do so, don't forget to subscribe down below, as we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. And of course, if you want to see more content like this, random stories from the World Cup, African content, whatever it may be, don't forget to subscribe down below. You don't have to do that, that's not a word. Don't forget to like down below as well, and I'll see you guys all very, very soon. Also, leave a prediction for the Ghana-Uruguay game in the comment section. Let me know what you think the scoreline will be.